Hi, my name is Weldon, and I would like to sit here and tell you about my spiritual pilgrimage. I didn't grow up in a Christian home. It seemed like all my life was filled with insecurity and rejection, and the older I got, the worse it got. After 2 divorces and a broken engagement, I finally met a man who I thought would love me. Not to be so, just another rejection. After that rejection from that guy, I was really hurt. I thought church would be the answer. Well, anyway, I started going to church, and I found that church was not the answer. Jesus Christ was. I went to talk to the pastor, and he led me to the plan of salvation. I accepted Jesus Christ as my personal Savior, and what a whirlwind that happened after that. And if you want to watch my next videos, you'll find out more about what's going on. But right now, I'm going to get into something else. That when I became a Christian, I had 5 brothers and sisters that thought I had lost it. I was extremely verbal about my new relationship with Jesus and what he could do for them. It didn't sit well with them. And for a few years, I didn't even get to visit with them. Sometimes they would come to visit from out of town, and they wouldn't even come to see me or whatever. And of course, that just added to my rejection. I felt so isolated, scared and hurt that I had lost my family for good. That was so disappointing. But then years later, the relationship was slightly restored. But that didn't stop my insecurities. But God understands our hurts, and he works in ways beyond our understanding, and uses different ways to turn bad things into good things. I was still feeling empty and turned for food for comfort. I allowed myself to gain a lot of extra weight. One day, my mom made a comment to me. She said, "If you're a Christian, why are you so fat?" And my mom said that to me. That hurt. I love my mom, but I tell you, God used that to speak to my heart, and I looked for different ways to start losing weight. God let me fast for 10 days at a time, many different occasions, and here I am years later, 80 pounds lighter. I guess I wanted to tell you too what happened, because I was trying to lose weight, and I would get on the scale, and I call it the little liar, because my clothes would start getting a little bit looser, yet the scale wasn't showing that I was losing weight. So finally one day I got mad, and I took that scale out to the trash, and I dumped it in the trash, and I have not had a scale since. And every time I would go to the doctor and they would blame me, I would tell them I don't want to know how much I weigh, because when they would tell me how much I weigh, it always make me think I've got to go on a diet. But every time I think about going on a diet, all I wanted to do was eat. Well, anyway, that child decided to go live with the dad. But now with only 2 of them at home, they decided that they didn't want to obey. Without my permission, they went to stay with my brother and sister-in-law for a short time. Court proceedings followed, with the judge insisting that I take them home if they would obey. I made a courageous decision that those kids were not going to wind up in a detention home, because the judge said that if I took them home and they ran away again, I'd have to report them as runaways, and then they might have to go to the detention home, and I wasn't going to have that. So I refused to take them home, and unless they promised to listen, they refused to want to come home and obey. So they were sent to a foster home for about 3 weeks before they changed their mind and decided to come home. Years later, a teenager was sent to a home in Indiana for different reasons, problems. That lasted for about 2 years before returning home to graduate school and eventually become a good solid citizen. Then there was only one. Then there was only one to go, and he left home shortly before his 16th birthday and became a vagabond. There were years I didn't even know his whereabouts. I was again faced with my worthlessness. What kind of a mother would I be that my kids would run from me? But now, years later, my children gave me 10 wonderful grandkids. God bless me with one in each month, January, February through September. And then now, right now, I have 4 great granddaughters and a great grandson.